Ladies and gentlemen, the 3.2 special live stream for Honkai Star Rail has concluded, and of course, I want to get my thoughts on everything that transpired, but I want to go over everything that transpired first off, and then kind of get my takes in between or at the end. You know the typical YouTuber thing, like gloom, doom, and maybe a little bit of hope. But thinking about it after the live stream has concluded, there's still a lot of concern for my game. I love this game because I love turn-based RPGs. I've always been a fan of Helioverse in some way, shape, or form. And I feel as though, like, while there are some really good things coming for second anniversary, there's a lot of things to really think about in regards to the global passive stuff. So like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about 3.2, and definitely check out Gamer Subs. Use code TYSTRA for 10% off, right? All right, so let's dive in. First things first, we did get our banners, which is not too bad. Phase 1, we get Castorice, which she has a global passive, and that's going to be something that we're going to discuss here a little bit later. But her global passive, basically, when you have her on your account, doesn't matter if she's in your party or not. If she is on your account, you summoned for her, you have what's called the global passive of revival, which basically one of your teammates gets revived during a battle. Yeah. And, yeah. Sorry, my nose is like super itchy right now. But we also got reruns of Fugui, Jiaoqiu, and Acheron, which phase 1 is stacked, right? If we take into consideration the global passive for Castorice, we're looking at the 3 side characters as well. My God, phase 1 banners are insane, right? So already good. And then phase 2, we got anaxa, who has the ability to inflict all 7 weaknesses onto an enemy. Or actually, let me rephrase that. All 7 weaknesses on all enemies on his ultimate. That's insane. There's no, so long as anaxa is on your team, you have no reason to worry about anything. Yeah. But we also got a rerun of Dr. Ratio, the free-to-play character that we got back when Penacony first started. Yeah, you get a rerun of him. Cool. New characters, anaxa, as we just talked about. Anaxa has the ability to inflict all 7 weaknesses on all enemies in the game, like, at one time. Like, basically, like, if you have 5 enemies that you're fighting against and he uses his ultimate, they are all weak to every single element. That... I have to take a swig of water. That in of itself is insanely overpowered. And the reason why I say that is because, like, you think about, in general, like, the 2.0 characters and before, like, all the characters that have come out for 3.0 have been overpowered as fuck, to say the least. And this is no exception. Like, it feels like the power creep went from, like, you know how in Dragon Ball the power creep just starts going, it's like a very small line, and then as soon as you get to the Frieza or the Namek Saga, it just goes boom. It's like that. I feel like we're in our Namek Saga of Honkai Star Rail, but not in a good way, right? Like, the story's fine, just a lot of yapping, but the characters are just overpowered. But if you didn't know, he's going to be Erudition Wind, and then we got Castorice. So the global passive thing, and I'm gonna comment on this now. I feel it is extremely bad for the game, and it sets a very unhealthy precedent on players who are playing the game. And it makes me sad because, like, yeah, you usually summon for abilities and stuff like that, but this seems... Both of these characters seem to be ridiculous for no reason. Like, they didn't have to be this powerful for people to summon. People were already hyped about Castorice beforehand. And then anaxa was something that, like, was like an underground, like, oh snap, maybe we get anaxa. And then when stuff started coming out, people were like, oh yeah, anaxa looks sick. And then now his stuff. I'm very torn. And I'll get to why I'm torn a little bit later as we get into more stuff. But yes, we're getting new light cones. We already know that. This new light cone, the Great Cosmic Enterprise, will be a part of the 2nd anniversary for their event. So pretty cool. I want to know what this thing does, but Yeah. We got new boss, new enemies, which is going to be a dragon with its head and an egg. I thought that was kind of cool. Like, homie can't get out. Like, he's like, step bro, I'm stuck in the egg. But yeah, we get a new Trailblaze mission, which, like, can I just say, I'm trying to be nice about this, but it was split into thirds. And the first part of this live stream was just talking about lore about the story. To me, if you have to take that long to explain the synopsis of your story, it's too much. And maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me. But that's how I feel. I feel like they're overcomplicating things and just not letting the story tell itself. They're putting too much into something. Like, they're putting too much into, like, telling you, like, oh, hey, this is this, this is this, this is this, this is this, and not enough about the actual, like, story itself, I guess. I don't know. And it don't get me wrong, like, the story itself is there, but it seems more like explaining the stuff that, if it would have just been clarified from the beginning, wouldn't have needed to be explained. If that makes sense. I don't know. It's a lot, and I got so torn by it. But let's get to the events. This event, Seal Slammers, I actually kind of like. It's very dumb, very cute. I can't be mad at it. Like, it seems like a fun little mini game, like a little, like, you know those Pokemon metal coins? What you would have to do with those is they would hit each other, or you would spin them, and whatever it would land on would be your attack. So, kind of reminds me of that a little bit. And it looks like you get one of the little buddies to go walk along with you. That's pretty cool. Morning Starlight, which is going to be, like, we've had this event a couple times under different names. But basically it gives you a set of trial characters you could run with, and your goal is to try and fill up the bar to get a special effect to go. Pretty cool event, like, in general. I hate the fact that these are the only two events for a little bit, but at the same time I love it because I can easily get caught up. Then, of course, we get the Star Rail World, which is going to be a little business sim that you get where you earn coins, earn all your, like, stellar jades and stuff like that. It's all right. We did the board game last time, which was pretty cool, so I expect this one to be just as cool, to be honest. We get into more second-year anniversary stuff, which is going to be starting, I believe they said April 28th, if I remember correctly. But we are getting 20 free pulls in 7 days, which is pretty sick. I love this art, by the way, of all of the Celeron Hunters and the Trailblazers. Pretty sick. You get 1,600 Stellar Jade and 10 Fuel from one of these characters, which originally I thought you were going to get these characters for free, and I was going to lose my mind, but that was not the case. So it's fine. Like, I'll still take the 1,600 free, easy peasy. We get Realm of the Strange and Planner Fisher 300%, which means you're getting 3 times the amount of rewards. Genshin could still never. Annual Trailblaze Report, which is pretty cool. More free stuff. I love it. We're getting Star Rail Live. It's going to be a concert held in Shanghai, so that's cool. A lot of collab events going on outside. But they got into some more of the freebie stuff and a lot of changes as well. In the second year anniversary, we are getting a free Ranmei or Luocha, depending on what you pick. And from then on out, if you E6 any 5-star character, you will get what is called the Silver Component Spirit. And then 2 of those can be made into Gold Component Spirits. And then you turn in that 1 Gold Spirit into a 5-star character. I think that's pretty cool. It gives a new reason to, like, be excited to pull characters. It sucks that you have to pull 2 5-stars to be able to get the 5-star you want, but at the same time it makes sense for a 50-50 if you get me on that one. But yeah, I do like this. Plus, free Ranmei or free Luocha, both really good characters. I don't care what anybody says. A lot of people disrespect my man Luocha for no reason. Luocha's a goat, dude. Luocha's still good. I still use him a lot, so pretty excited to see that you can get one of these 2 for free. They're both really good. We got a couple other things too. Top-up bonuses are coming back, obviously. Light Cone Memory Shards are also going to be a thing. It's going to be the same exact thing as the Golden Companion Spirits. Exclusive personality display set, it looks like we're getting for the second year anniversary as well. So cool stuff to kind of display on your thing. We do have an auto salvage function also coming to Honkai Star Rail, which basically, before you go into like relic domains, you could set anything from 4-star below to auto salvage. That's already cool because of the fact that you don't have to worry about going through and salvaging everything yourself. And then not only that, but like as you can see from this screenshot, it literally blacks out all of these, or, you know, blanks them out, whatever you want to call it. And literally all it does is make it so you don't have to worry about them going into your inventory. And then we have the smart discard feature, which basically, if you have a relic that is not suitable for any of the recommended characters for that set, for a main stat, or subsidiary effects, 1 or lower, which is what I'll be doing. Excuse me, a little bit tired. But you can basically auto salvage those as well, which is really cool. I like the fact that they're making it easier to sort through your relics without having to worry about stuff. Then you know which ones are actually going to be good for you. And one of the biggest things, in my opinion, is this character event warp optimization. Now, what does this mean? Basically, from what it looks like, from 2nd anniversary on, you could switch 3 of the characters that are, you know, limited characters in for 3 standardized characters, and you have a chance to pull them. So when the 2nd anniversary goes live, the first 3 are going to be Zella, Blade, and Bouchuan. And I'm going to tell you this right now. As much as I love Bouchuan, you should be going for Blade. And we'll dive into that a little bit more after. But it looks like these light cones also will be added to the shop, which is Bouchuan, Luochas, Rondmays, Blades, and Zellas. So you could actually exchange for their light cones. So this makes it so it's a little bit more free-to-play friendly, I guess, is the best way to put it. I don't know. But here's what I was talking about. So old characters are getting buffs, and we already knew this from one of the dev notes. The first 4 are announced: Silverwolf, Kafka, Jingliu, and Blade. So to me, it makes most sense for the standardized character, or your standard banner character, to be switched for Blade. The reason being is because Blade's getting updated, and that's really cool. They didn't give us specific details on the buffs and how good they're going to be, but it makes me excited in that regard. So, and then of course we're getting another free new 5-star character. They didn't say who it's going to be, but my guess is it's going to be a collab character from the Fate Stay Night series. It would make sense because of the fact that they don't want people missing out on these characters. Always something to think about in regards to that. We got pictures of the new area, which is pretty sick, and that's basically it. So, what's my take on this whole thing? Well, I want to go over something that one of my friends pointed out, and it's a very, very good astute observation, I guess, is the best way to put it. So during the time when they were explaining castorice, right, they did this, and I'm going to try and do it as close to what they did as possible. And if you summon castorice, you get her passive ability, which can make sure that your team survives 1 lethal blow. And she doesn't even have to be in your team. Wow, so she could be outside of the team and do it? Yes, that's correct. Now let's move on to 2nd anniversary. Or not 2nd anniversary, but it was the events. But you get my point. They basically glossed over it. Now, and the reason why I say this as it's an issue is because it shows that even, like, it's not just the west side of things getting mad about it. So before anybody says China doesn't get mad about this, China is mad about it. China is extremely mad about it. So to me, they just glossed over it and said, we don't care, we're doing this. And what would have helped them is with this, if they gave castorice to everyone. Castorice, whatever. If they would have gave her to every player, I think that there wouldn't have been any issue. And the reason being is because of the fact that you have to pay to get this character. You have to spend your currency for this. That's what bothers a lot of people. And I get it. Like, it's an exclusive character and they need to make money. But at the same time, like, your player base is now ever pissed off. Is that going to hurt them? No, they're still gonna make money. People are just gonna summon on castorice. I'm saving all of my freaking stellar jades to summon for castorice, for crying out loud. Like, I have pulled back the amount of money I'm spending on Honkai Star Rail. I didn't get Tribby. I didn't even go for Mighty. Well, I did go for Mighty, but I didn't get him. But yeah, like, there's just a lot to consider. Like, and it makes me sad because this got overshadowed by all the second anniversary stuff, which the second anniversary stuff is really, really good. But it's like, you see somebody like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just very disappointing. It's very disappointing on Hoyoverse's part. It's not that it wasn't expected, because again, look at Genshin. Genshin's terrible. Which, by the way, I said this before, way back when, and I'll say it now. I said it in the live stream. This was something I was suggesting for Genshin Impact to do, and I'm glad that HSR is doing it. But overall, like, the live stream, if you took away Castorice's passive away, the live stream was a banger. But just having that passive thing with, it's just terrible. It's so terrible. But I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below if you agree. Do you like Castorice's passive? Or do you think that just in general, like, everything else in the live stream overshadows Castorice's ability? But that's going to be it. Love you guys to death. And as always, we'll catch you in the next video. Please take care and be safe.